Hello humans, today I wanted to talk about this guy right here. This is actually something I've been looking for quite a while, so I'm pretty damn excited about it. This is a moki knife. Outside the packaging is very simple. It's a moki bird and trout. Simple cardboard box. This is a handmade knife made in Japan. Pretty cool. Moki, I mean, it says right there on the packaging, Moki's been around for quite a while. They've been around since 1907. And they make high quality handmade cutlery in Japan. I guess by Japanese company standards, 100 and what? Oh, now is when I've proven bad at math, but it's like 117 years. It's really not that long. Almost 118 now. Ever since our foundation in 1907, we've been producing high quality knives with original designs and high precision. Baked into our proud history of over 100 years, every one of our handmade knives is made for unmatched sharpness and durability. And then the signature for the president of the Moki Knife Company Limited. So our first cardboard box, nice simple cardboard box, burn it, recycle it, do whatever you do. I actually really like that. And then we have our leather sheath. It's actually nice, made leather sheath embossed with the company logo there. It's a little stiff, but it looks good. As far as sheaths go, it does look very good. It doesn't have a drainage hole, which is a little bit unfortunate, but other than that, it looks really good. I can't read this. On the editing side, I'm going to put up something that says what all of this means, but as of right now, I can't read this because it's in Japanese, which is not a language I speak. I think it's probably maintenance and care instructions. Kind of cool. I can't do anything with it right now, but I am going to look into that and figure out what it actually says later. And then this, I'm assuming, is going to be my knife. It's another simple cardboard box. Burn it, recycle it, do whatever you do with it. This is not minimal packaging by any stretch of the imagination. You don't need a separate box to hold your knife. But if you are going to have something separate to hold your knife in place for international shipping and stuff like that, I do appreciate that it's all cardboard and paper. I do actually really do appreciate that it is all cardboard and paper. I think that is a correct way of doing this. Cardboard sheath, scabbard, whatever. And then here we have it. Wow. Look at that handle. Absolutely gorgeous burl wood right there. We have our Moki logo on the blade and our name stamped in. This is an Aus 8 knife made in Japan. For 170 bucks, Aus 8 is not great. You can definitely get more bang for your buck, but this is a handcrafted knife, which does definitely hold some extra costs and values and the like. That's going to be flat ground. What do I have this straight edge? I have an open L. Yeah, flat ground knife. Very gorgeous looking satin finish on the blade. You have some very aggressive, good positive traction jimping right there on the spine, you can see, and then some more right here where you can put your lead finger. Again, these are actually really high traction, which is quite nice. You have a bolster. I actually like the little details on this are really well done. I like how they did the bolster here. Oh. And I do believe it is a true it is a true bolster, separate pieces from the handle or from the blade stock material. It looks like it's stainless steel pins and a lanyard barrel on the back. It's just gorgeously done. Wow. Goes beautifully into its sheath. Yeah. That's amazing. All right, let's get into our testing. Do I have a piece? No, my cat ate my last piece of paper. Okay. Perks of having animals. The dog destroys all your shoes and the cat eats all of your paper. figure out. The edge is very well polished, so I imagine this is going to be, yeah, that's exceptionally well polished feeling. And yeah, that is definitely sharp. Yeah, that definitely does feel very sharp. I need to figure out where I can get more of that rubber to do my rubber tests. I'm running out fairly quickly, but here's a chunk of rubber. I think this is going to go well. It is a fully flat ground blade, and it's not a very thick blade stock, so I think this is just going to go laser beam right through it. Yeah. Yeah, that felt really good. Our spine is fairly crisp. That's kind of cool. Do like a push. Yeah, that feels really good. That did a very good job with that, which is definitely not surprising, but. And then our poking test. No, that's not the block that I normally use. Here's the block that I normally use. Yeah, poking, it's a very thin blade. This pokes brilliantly, which is not at all surprising, but, worth testing. Wow, so this is not going to be a hard use fixed blade. It's very, very much it's pretty, but it's very, very much a slicey, showy bird and trout style knife. Good for fishing, hunting, that kind of a shebang, which is what it's designed for. I also think it's going to make a really nice everyday carry fixed blade, in large part due to its small size. The handle it's a little small, but it is exceptionally comfortable, and these jimps are flipping amazing. Wow. There's not tons to say. It is a fairly simple product. The handle is absolutely gorgeous, though. Like you can see, this is a very, very pretty knife. Our grind looks exceptionally well done. Very symmetrical the whole way, which makes a lot of sense. Belt satin finish. Fairly high reflectivity belt satin finish, but still just, well, is this belt? Yeah, I think it's belt. I don't think it's hand satin. It might be hand satin, though. I can't say with 100% certainty. Just brilliantly, brilliantly done. Jimping is really good. It's very comfortable. I am very excited to get to using this. The sheath, I would like a drainage hole. The fact that it doesn't have one is kind of disappointing, but it retains the knife nicely. It looks like it's going to be quite good. Doesn't have much in the way of a thumb ramp. Like, this is very much just kind of a pinch, pull, readjust, which isn't too bad. I mean, it's a traditional style leather sheath, right? Like, there's not that much to it, but for that consideration, it would be nice. Would it? Yeah, I think it would be nice to have kind of a Scout's carry option with this, just because it is such a nice sheath design. It would be really nice to be able to like tuck it under the back of a shirt or something like that, but wearing it on the belt will be no problem whatsoever, and it really is gorgeous. All right, Fixed blades are nice and simple. I get so excited about stuff like this. Like, I adore this, and I'm really excited to get a lot of use out of it. But there's just less to say than there is with the folder, to be perfectly honest. Especially initial impressions. That's actually, like, engraved in there fairly deep. That's really... The machining tolerances on this must be insane. This feels so good. It's very impressive. Yeah, I'm going to carry this. I'm going to play with this for a little bit. I'm going to get back to you with more details. I am very excited. This is super cool. Well, no, I'll be back in now. And we are back. So I'm playing with this guy pretty much just on for about a week now, and I have some more fully formed opinions on this. So this is a really nice knife to carry. Oh, it's got some shmoo on it and stuff. This is a really nice knife to carry. So I've been carrying this at work, standard fare, cutting open packages, whole 9 yards. I found that the way I preferred to carry this was actually unusual for me. Typically, I like carrying something on my right side. I'm right hand dominant. I'll carry it on my right side and just draw it kind of straight up. Whereas with this, partially due to the size and the fact that it's so deep in the sheath, I actually liked having it on my left side, kind of in between, like just behind my front pocket, and then doing almost a cross draw with it, just because of how deep it fits into there. I found that to be the most comfortable way of handling this. Sheath, really good, obviously no drain hole, but other than that, absolutely phenomenal sheath, worked very well. This is nice, like genuinely really pleasant to use. My fingers fit very comfortably, 2 in the front and 2 in the back of this spike right here. Sometimes if I was doing something particularly detailed, I would choke right up, but typically it just fits so comfortably right there in that spot. The jimping down here is so deep that as soon as your finger's in there, it was completely locked in, like absolutely nothing was moving my hand from this position. And the jimping back here, again, like it's nice and pointy. If my thumb was on there, my thumb was not moving. Same thing with my index finger. Like if my index finger's on there, I am not sliding my index finger around. It is amazing in terms of being locked in, which, given the fact that there's no type of guard, nothing to protect your fingers from sliding up on the blade other than the jimping there and there, that's a very good call. It's very thin, very slicey, felt exceptional in cuts and stuff like that. The handle, contoured, very comfortable. I didn't end up using the lanyard space because I am capable of getting, you know, a comfortable 4-finger grip on this thing. Like, I don't need any more extra length, and it's not a heavy chopper, it's nothing like that, so I wasn't gonna bother with putting a lanyard on to not lose it, because there's nothing I'm doing, I'm at risk of throwing it, right? Which is, I mean, there are people who are going to appreciate the lanyard being there. Me personally, I think it's nice that we have a lanyard barrel, and I think it's nice that they did some detailing with it. Like, it looks really good back there, but I don't feel it was necessary. So if you don't like lanyards and you don't like holes in through your handle, you're not going to like this, but I think it was really nice. Os 8, it's fine. I mean, at this price point, you know, I'd like something a little bit more premium, but this is very much handmade, mid-tech in Japan. I can appreciate the fact that that does cost more. It would have been nice to at least get Os 10, but I'm not going to bitch and moan too much about Os 8. Like, it's acceptable enough, and it held its edge fine. Like, the heat treat on it is quite good, which is, in my opinion, more important than the steel itself a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. And it's so damn thin, it barely matters anyway. So I am going to get into the thickness before I do my size comparisons, just because, like, that's the standout feature of this thing, in my opinion, is its size. In particular, this dimension right here. So this is, and we're going to go right back here, 75 thousandths. This is 75 thousandths. Like, that's thin. This is an insanely thin knife. And you know what? It's better for it. Completely genuinely. This is very nice. It's extremely nimble. It moved well in cuts. Like, it's thin. If you're not doing anything heavy use though, and you want to carry a fixed blade, I think that this is strongly recommendable. Let's get into some size comparisons. Here it is next to the Morkniv Companion F. As you can see, it is smaller across every single dimension compared to the Morkniv Companion F, which makes a lot of sense. This is just a common fixed blade that I like to compare to. And then here it is next to the Civivi Chevalier and the Wee Banter. As you can see, it fits comfortably between these two. I don't judge fixed blades on the same kind of standard as I judge folding knives on for size, but this is a smaller fixed blade, in my opinion, and it fits comfortably into what I consider to be a mid-range folder, I guess. But as you can see, the handle is quite small, and the blade profile isn't very tall, which it has to not be very tall given, or it has to be so thin given the height of the blade in order to preserve that sliciness, because it does need that sliciness to be there. Here it is next to the Buck 110 and a Zippo lighter. As you can see, it is quite a bit smaller than the Buck 110. In even just like handle, it's noticeably smaller than the Buck 110, and then obviously a blade. In terms of its thickest point is kind of back here in that swell for your last two fingers. And around that swell, it's about the thickness of the Zippo, which will make it a good deal thinner than the Buck 110. So the ergonomics on this thing, I got into it a little bit with the jimping, but look at that, like, swelling. This is just exceptionally comfortable in the hand. Like, it's hand melting in the sense of it feels like I'm holding a pen a lot of the time. It's that slim and nimble and comfortable and artist-like. Like, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous knife in the hand, in the feel. Like, this is really phenomenal. Yeah, it's hard to say a lot about it. It's going to show signs of use, especially on the blade. It is, like I said, a softer steel, so this is going to be easier to mar up with time and use, but like, it's going to look good even with that marring, in my opinion. Like, this is so hyper utilitarian. It is gorgeous. They are true bolsters. They are not attached to the blade stock. I like bolsters personally, so like the aesthetics of this I find absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, if you're looking for something like this, a smaller EDC fixed blade, you have a little bit of money to spend. A gentlemanly EDC fixed blade, to be perfectly honest. Like, this is a gentlemanly knife. Nobody's going to question this. Well, actually, I ended up giving this to a man at a coffee shop. He was having a hard time opening because it was a coffee shop. They had these cookies. The cookies were in these little plastic sealed containers. He was having a hard time getting into his, so I offered him my knife. The only knives that I had on me were a Swiss Army knife that was deep in my pocket, and this. So without really thinking about the fact that I was just handing somebody a knife, I pulled it out and handed it to him, and like, no question. And this is, a 65-year-old man in a suit. So around here there are a lot of farmers. He could have been a farmer. He didn't look like a farmer, but clearly this was not a aggressive or offensive thing to hand to an older man, because he was perfectly fine with it. And yeah, I think that right there is kind of where this is going to live. It's a gentlemanly EDC fixed blade. It's a comfortable fishing game knife. It's the correct size for doing, especially small birds. Bird and trout, that's what it is. It's the right size, especially for doing small birds and stuff like that. Steel's easy to touch up in the field, but it holds an edge fairly well. Like, I did wood carving and stuff like that with it with no real issue. It's just gorgeous. Another place that I think that this would do really well, and I know I'm spending more time on like the recommendation stand, because this is just, it's simple, but it's brilliantly executed for how simple it is. This would make an exceptional knife for, like, not as a first knife necessarily, but as like a pride piece for a 10 or 11-year-old kid. Like, giving this to a 10 or 11-year-old kid, somebody who's already a little bit outdoorsy, already knows how to take care of a knife, is past all the stage where they're going to mess up or damage their knife, but at the stage where they need something to, like, hold dear for the rest of their life, something like this would fit perfectly. Its quality and aesthetics are there to where this will last somebody a lifetime genuinely. The blade steel is easy enough to maintain that giving it to a younger kid shouldn't pose much of an issue. It's a stainless steel blade, which is nice. It's handle wise, even for a smaller hand, this is going to be comfortable, but it will remain comfortable as they grow, which is very important at that age. If you are looking for a gift, and keep in mind, this is not an inexpensive knife, right? Like this was shy of $200, but not by much. Canadian, everything's in Canadian, but not by tons. And I think that giving this as like a special present or for completing something along that lines for an outdoorsy kid would make an exceptional gift. Yeah, highly recommendable. It's on the smaller side for a fixed blade, but it remains comfortable and it's more than capable of doing any task that you would assign to a blade of this size and thickness. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it. It's really good. I do definitely think that it is worth getting one. Stay safe and have fun out there. Peace.